Anyone who follows this channel at all knows that Q1 production is being hugely impacted by the Model Y changeover. You just can't sell what you don't have in stock. But you wouldn't know this if you're just reading the mainstream media and some of the reports that have been coming out about Tesla's numbers in early 2025. Let's take a look at Politico. Headline: Tesla's Elon Musk problem. The article discusses how Tesla owners in the US are expressing discontent with Musk's political involvement by placing stickers on their cars, such as "Up with EVs" and "Down with Elon," and and distributing them to their friends and family. It highlights protests outside Tesla's showrooms, with liberals complaining about Musk's perceived takeover of the federal government affecting the brand's public face. In Europe, the problem is much more stark. I would agree with this. First thing I would, so the sales are declining 45% in January compared to January 24, and automotive experts speculating this decline is at least partially related to Musk's association with far right parties. Well, far right, your far right might be my right. Anyway, the article suggests that Musk's political activities are harming Tesla's brand reputation, particularly among liberal consumers who are primary buyers of electric vehicles, leading to lagging sales. And then this from PBS. Musk's embrace of right-wing politics risks alienating customers and sinking Tesla's stock. Well, this article notes that Tesla is facing increased competition from European and Chinese automakers, but it emphasizes Musk's political stances as a significant factor in sales declines. It reports protests and vandalism against Tesla's vehicles, including an effigy of Musk hung in Milan and an image of him doing a straight arm salute projected on a Tesla factory outside Berlin, and a bus stop poster in London labeling Tesla as swastikars. A Polish government minister called for a Tesla boycott, and a German owner, Jens Fischer, stated he would not buy another Tesla, citing Musk's perceived destabilization of democracy and placing an "Elon went nuts" sticker on his Model 3. Investor Ross Gerber, I, I haven't mentioned him in a long time, is quoted saying that Musk has married the world's best product with the world's worst marketing, directly linking Musk's political activity to brand damage and sales challenges. This was the same Ross Gerber who a couple of years ago said that he should serve on the board of Tesla. He is now the laughing stock, quite frankly, of the entire Tesla community online. I mean, seriously, the entire Tesla community. Who knows how he still gets any kind of notice? Anyway, I have been all by myself again over the past 18 months, making the case that lost customers from the left side of the aisle will be made up for, and maybe more than made up for, with new customers from the right side of the aisle. And I have now been fully vindicated by 3 polls that this is absolutely, definitely happening. And I've decided to use Grok to get Grok's analysis rather than spending hours and hours and hours doing my own numbers and pushing it. Anyway, I want you to hear what Grok has to say about this. Now, I also want to say the one thing Grok is not taking into consideration, well, I asked it to, but I don't think it really is that the customers, let's say in California, who have owned Teslas, for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, whatever, they've already told all their friends and family. Their friends and family all know that they love their Tesla, or now they're mad about Tesla, who knows? But the word of mouth has already happened here. And Teslas are like everywhere. They're just like, even Cybertrucks, you see them all the time now. But if you're talking about Midwest, someplace in a 30,000 population town in the middle of Iowa, these folks, there's like 3 in town. These are new people that are going, oh, you know what? I like this Elon Musk guy. I like what he's doing. I like that he's buds with Trump. And they're saying, maybe I should buy one. Well, guess what? They have not done the work, the family, friends and family thing yet. There's no word of mouth from these folks. So there's, I think, an opportunity where this swing towards the right will be more impactful than it would be if he was still actually. In fact, I would even say that if I was giving him advice 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I might have said, you know what? You might want to divorce yourself from left-wing politics and really start courting the right. I think that would be a good, smart marketing thing to do. I don't think Elon did it for those reasons. I think he's genuinely decided that conservative politics makes more sense, as the president says, common sense, as opposed to, you know, males having periods or something. Grok says this. He says, look, the morning consult polls, along with other data, confirm that Republicans and independents are showing new interest in Tesla, driven partly by Musk's alignment with conservative politics and Tesla's brand strength. However, this interest is not fully displacing the lost excitement among Democrats, who have historically been a larger and more EV-inclined portion of Tesla's customer base. The decline in Democratic favorability, as evidenced by Morning Consult and Stifle data, has contributed to sales challenges, particularly in Democratic-leading states, but growing Republican and independent interest, especially the surge among independents, is partially offsetting these losses. I asked Grok to do a deeper, and when he did that, I saw this, I'm saying, come on, go deeper. Please take into consideration additional inputs. I won't go into all the details of all the inputs, but Grok still insists that there might be 5% lower sales. 5%, that's not bad. If the total impact of what's happening with Elon right now is that we lose 5% of sales that we otherwise might have gotten, I think we're going to be okay. I don't think it's going to be 5%, but that's okay. So what was the conclusion with the additional data? Now, based on Stifle, Strategic Visions poll, Morning Consult's poll, and 𝐑𝐚𝐽𝐸's poll, he says, they say, Grok says, with constant total sales, not taking into consideration that there might be a drop because of this, but rather assuming the sales stay constant, because the production issues are resolved, because the first time they weren't taking into consideration why sales were down in the first quarter. So I just said, what if they stay constant? It says it's still unlikely that Republican and independent purchases will make up for the lost Democratic contribution in terms of first-time buyers, given Democratic's larger historical share, 40%, and the higher baseline EV interest, because they're more interested in general in the EV category. Now, again, to a certain extent, I'm thinking, well, as Republicans become interested in the category, start to recognize that they're just better cars overall, more practical, and actually cost less overall, they might actually, that might be a bigger market because you're penetrating new customers as opposed to just going back to the same old, same old. The net effect is a likely decrease in Democratic sales contributing to about 18.1%, but total sales remaining constant due to increases from others. But that includes a category they came up with called Other. So I don't know who the other are, but overall, they agreed with me that word of mouth would be stronger among the new entrants, but they still thought that it was 5% or so, all things being equal, maybe more than that in Europe, with no impact in China. All things are not equal. So here's where Tesla's going to more than make up for that 5%. Let's assume maybe they're right. Maybe the overall impact will be 5%. But the difference is there's huge pent-up demand for the Model Y in all markets. All right, this alone will undoubtedly eliminate any slower demand in the US and will mitigate the issue in Europe. Yeah, it could be that Europe will just barely be able to sell everything that they can make. And maybe the Model 3 numbers are down a bit, especially the Model 3 buyers might be waiting for the Model Q. So there could be some Osborne going on there. So Europe might still be a little thin, but I think the US, because of pent-up demand, people that already own a Model Y or a Model 3 are waiting for the Cybertruck, switching over to this new Model Y, which is getting amazing reviews. All right, remember too that all European countries are not interested in the anti-Musk debate. They just don't care. And a lot of people don't care. And also there are a lot of people that are not left-wing. I mean, it's way smaller than, let's call it 25% maybe of Europeans would kind of feel the same way that I do about political issues. And they might be more attracted, again, like in the United States, and want to buy a Tesla because of what's going on. Then, in addition to all of that, as Brian Wang pointed out, all by himself, he's the only person talking about this. This was brand new on our channel on Wednesday night. He said, look, we're going to be increasing the TAM with the Model Q. So whereas, if the TAM for the Model Y was, the total addressable market was maybe, let's call it 10 million people that might be interested in a Model Y, then 50 million people would be interested in a car that was $15,000 less. Okay. So how does that work out? Well, then you're obviously going to sell way more cars total in 2025, no matter what, even if you have a 5% overall decrease because of the political situation. And again, no decrease in China. They don't care about this whole political situation. So sales already there. The numbers we're getting are that they've taken orders for 200,000 Model Y, Junipers. Now, there might be some cannibalization of the Model 3 and Y by the new Model Q, but for the balance of 2025, I think the low number of units produced on the new Model Q line will not have much impact on that kind of cannibalization. That might have a bigger impact in 2026. So that is the overall picture as I see it. I think what we're going to see is Elon continuing to be correct. Of course, he's very good at predicting the numbers, and he's saying 20 to 30% increase in 2025. And while people say he didn't reiterate that number, he also hasn't ever said that isn't the case. All right, so this is Randy Kirk. Please hit like, subscribe, notify, blah, blah, blah. And then Patreon. Thank you, Mike S., for joining up to Patreon. We've got a little more energy going on here. And Mike S., he said, look, Randy, now that I've joined, what do I get? I'm sorry, I don't mean to say it that way. I mean, he wanted to know. He says, I'm new to the Patreon thing. What special things am I going to get because I've joined? And I said, well, you'll get a free book, of course. But I don't put up any special, I don't do any special videos. I haven't been doing that for a while. Why? How come I haven't, for you guys that are part of Patreon, why haven't I done that? Because I'm posting 30 times a day on X. I think between the 3 videos and the 30 posts on X, you're going to get all of my brain. whatever brain there is up there, whatever you're interested in, whatever kinds of things that I can find out there for you guys, it's all going between X and on YouTube. And so this is a tip jar. That's really what it boils down to right now. Will I ever start putting up special stuff again? I might. I'm not saying I won't. But for now, I'm exhausted. This is all I can do. And so you're basically just saying, Randy, we appreciate all this work that you're doing. It's like, your waiter or your hairstylist. I just, had my hairstyle the other day. You like it? A little shorter there. Anyway, it was $20 and I threw her, I usually do $7 on top of the 20. I mean, it just seems so inexpensive, $20. Anyway, so that's the same idea. If you could send me $3 a month or $5 a month or $10 a month, I'm looking for a couple of people to hit the $50 number. But anyway, it's a tip jar. That's what it boils down to. And for now, no, I'm not doing anything special in that regard, except for the free books and the free Cybertruck. Of course, those are still available. All right, so this is a little bit of a thing I did the other day on X, and I want to repeat it here with details, okay? So I'd like you to take a picture right now of America. I want you to go out, take a snapshot. Take a snapshot of the America that you see right now. Well, take a snapshot in your mind of how it is overall. What's happening in the cities? What's happening in the economy, et cetera. And I'm saying that you will not recognize this America in a year. It'll be so different. And as an example, I'm going to use what just happened in 2 places. Before I give you my list here, is Trump told the mayor of Washington, D.C., if you don't clean up the city, I'm going to clean it up for you. And guess what? Within 24 hours, they were cleaning up the city, getting rid of the tent communities, cleaning up, getting those folks into care or however, but getting them off the streets. And then with regard to the California fire zone, in California, we just had these horrible fires. And before you can start to rebuild or even really let people back in significant amounts, you have to do this toxic cleansing, or they've got another name for it. FEMA was told that that would take about 18 months, plan for about 18 months to get that taken care of. It was done in 30, I think it was 39 days. I want to say 39 days, because that is how Trump operates. That's how Elon operates. It doesn't have to take 18 months. It's ridiculous. I was about a mile and a half from the huge earthquake. I forget what year that was. The massive earthquake in Los Angeles that broke the freeways. And the freeway that got broke was the one that was a mile and a half from me, the Santa Monica Freeway, right at La Brea. That's exactly where I lived and still have a home over there. We didn't have any significant impact, but that freeway was destroyed. Okay. And they gave a contract to this company, and they said, okay, here's how much you get if it takes you, I forget the numbers, but let's play. This is how much we're going to pay you if it takes 4 months. We're going to pay you this much more if it takes you 3 months. We're going to give you this much more if it only takes 2 months. Guess what? Yeah, you know the answer. Of course, they made all the money. All right. So here are the things that I'm looking at that I think will be significantly different in a year from now. Number one, the criminal aliens will be gone. Gone. Yeah, there's still going to be criminals in every city, don't get me wrong, but the ones who are here illegally, they'll be gone. These criminal gangs and stuff, gone. The ones the ones that are not citizens. Now, the citizens, hopefully the FBI does their job too. I'm not going to make any predictions about that because I'm not 100% sure exactly what the priorities are right now for the FBI. But with regard to the criminal aliens, they'll be gone. Number two, FBI will be working on jailing criminal citizens, not moms at board meetings. So the FBI's, I know their priorities will shift. They will shift to criminal enterprise. So it might be crime in the cities. It might be, white collar crime that crosses borders. It might be working with other police agencies in order to reduce crime. It might be crypto, or cyber crime whatever it is. It's not going to be. You're no longer going to have to worry about going down to the board meeting and making a fuss, because they will not consider you to be a terrorist. Number three, mortgage rates will be back to 4%. On X, I had a lot of people clap back at that one. I'm saying car loans will be at 5%. Well, in order for mortgage rates to be back to 4%, that means that the treasuries have to get down to 2%. Okay. And right now, I'm only predicting that this year they'll get down to about 3.5%. But I think this time next year, they could be down to 2%. Maybe it'll be still a little over 4%. So, give me a little bit of wiggle room there. Maybe the mortgages will be at 4.5, but I think they could be all the way down to 4%, and car loans at 5%. And that will stimulate housing and auto sales like crazy. Number four, gasoline will be back to 2018 levels, pre-pandemic levels. The last time that Trump was in office before the pandemic went nuts, they will be back to those levels. Well, guess what? They're almost there now. I know you probably don't realize it. You're probably not really paying attention to that. But if you go ahead and look it up, ask the Auto Club, what the current price of gas is compared to where it was at its very lowest point in recent years, and you'll find out that's where it is. And of course, and there's no credit for that. These people, whoa, Trump said on day one that, prices would be down. Well, they are. Gasoline prices are down. Oil prices are down. Natural gas prices are down. Okay. Those are pretty important three right there. And of course, they will impact grocery prices. So I'm saying that about grocery prices a year from now, grocery prices will be stable. I doubt if they'll be down. I mean, eggs might be. They might find a solution to this whole egg crisis, but this is not a political issue. This is a farming and agriculture issue. And our Secretary of Ag, is that a secretary level, Secretary of Agriculture? Anyway, they're working on it, and they might have a solution by then, but egg prices might be fine. But I'm just saying grocery prices overall will be stable this time next year. Number six, there will be lots of good jobs. Lots of good jobs. Now, why am I saying that? Because manufacturing will be coming back, and manufacturing pays well. And so you're going to see lots and lots of companies opening up between now and this time next year, and they're going to need people to build the buildings. They're going to need people to build the machinery that goes into the buildings. They're going to need people to outfit the interiors of the buildings. There's going to be lots and lots of jobs associated with building up the manufacturing infrastructure, and there'll be lots of jobs for those new manufacturing facilities, not just people, building things in there. You need the salespeople, and you need the marketing people, and you need the bookkeeping people, and you need, what I'm talking about, the designers and the tool makers and everything else. So look for lots and lots of good jobs coming this time next year. Not government jobs. These will be jobs in industry. Number 7, people will be buying things again. Yeah, so if your car prices if your interest rates go down, people will be buying the cars, they'll be buying the refrigerators, they'll be buying the houses. If you get down to 4%, 4.25%, somewhere around there, you're going to see people that are sitting on 3% loans that are going to be perfectly happy, okay, to finally move out of that house and move in most cases, it's going to be into a smaller house because it's grandma and me and people my age that are going to say, okay, I'll move in. I've already moved into the smaller house, but lots of people haven't. And so people will be looking for that opportunity to move into a smaller place. And of course, it'll also impact people at the, younger in life who are looking for their first home. Or younger in life and looking to move up to a larger home, but they've been stuck with these low interest rates and they just haven't wanted to move. So those will be happening. And once they move, guess what happens when you move? You need to pay a real estate agent, you need to pay a mortgage broker, you need to pay a moving van, you need to pay for new curtains, a new lawn. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. All of that will be stimulating all kinds of new jobs and lots of sales across the industry. All right, then number 8, many other cities will have no tents or drug addicts in front of the shopping areas of their towns. No poop on the streets. No syringes at the beach. Why is it going to happen? Well, it's going to happen because of leadership. Okay. Once you've got the president telling Washington, D.C. what to do, all of a sudden other people start doing the same thing. In fact, I don't even have it on my list, but a whole bunch of cities and a whole bunch of states are going to do the Doge thing in their cities and states. It's already happening, one after another. Headlines are coming out. These are being reported where mayors and governors are saying, oh no, we like what's happening in DC. We're going to do it in our state. So watch for that to happen, but also watch for these cities to go, oh, we can clean them up. Oh, it's okay now. Yeah. And they're going to be cleaning them up because why? They won't be competitive otherwise. Number 9, people will be honing their skills because they won't be able to get a job without having some new skills. One of the big ones is going to be understanding how to play with Grok, just like I did today. You have to understand how to go get that information and then actually get in and manipulate that information. It's not enough to just ask the question because guess what? Grok's going to lie. Grok's going to only get this part. It's going to leave out this part, whatever. You have to be able to go in and work with the data in order to make sure that you get a clean result. People that have that skill, high demand right now, very high demand, and it's not going to go down. It's going to be continuing to get high. That's also true for people that do art, et cetera, et cetera. All the things, videos, I mean, all of that stuff, people that have the ability to work with the AI systems are going to be in high demand. But there's all kinds of other things where people are going to need those skills in manufacturing. The country is devoid of people with manufacturing skills. So people that learn how to do design engineering, engineers that are mechanical engineers or electrical engineers, all of those people are going to be in demand. So just think in those terms. Number 10, no demonstrations with hooded anti-Semites. Already, I wrote this down 3 days ago, and yesterday Trump goes, okay, Columbia University, yeah, you're losing $400 million from the federal government because you aren't taking care of the Jewish students on your campus, and you're allowing these anti-Semites to do all these nasty things and hurt these people. And so you're losing $400 million. And they announced today, the interim president announced today, we're going to fix it. We know, we get it. You're right. They didn't even argue. They said, no, you're right. We're going to fix it. Yeah, and that $400 million is important to us. And guess what? That's going to have a ripple effect, isn't it? Lots of other universities and colleges are going to go, Uncle, Uncle. All right, number 11, there will be no wars or rumors of wars. I'm just saying. I know Trump yesterday said to Iran, we might have to take military action if you don't come to the table and talk to us about your nukes. And Iran said, we're not going to talk to you about our nukes. And Trump reiterated, well, either it's negotiate or military action. Well, maybe it won't be military action. Maybe it'll be something else. But I think by this time next year, there'll be no war and there'll be no rumors of wars. Number 12, first steps to eliminate nuclear weapons. So by this time next year, with Ukraine settled, it'll be settled, with Iran, in negotiations, or maybe they've negotiated something cool, with maybe some of the Middle Eastern countries agreeing to join the Abraham Accords. I know I'm an optimist. I'm sorry, I'm just an optimist. With North Korea saying, okay, with China being cool. Well, sometime this year, then Trump is going to go to Xi and to Putin, and he's going to say, look, let's reduce our military by 50% and let's eliminate all nuclear weapons. And there's going to be conversations about that. And maybe first steps will be taken. Maybe like Reagan did. I think it was Reagan who said, let's cut them in half first. Maybe they'll cut them in half and cut the military in half. It'd be crazy. I mean, look what's already happened in 6 weeks. Europe has said, no, we'll match the United States in terms of our spending overall to defend ourselves. I mean, I can't, I do understand why the Democrats are going nuts and doing nutty stuff, because the changes that have already happened in 6 weeks that are good, nobody can argue with that. Nobody can have an argument with the fact that Trump has caused Europe to say, okay, we will defend ourselves. We will no longer depend on the United States for this. Anyway, where am I here? I am at number 14, reduced, because number 13 was reducing the military in half. Number 14, reduced taxes, or maybe no income tax at all. So the reduced taxes is supposed to take place any minute now. It looks like it might not happen before the 14th of March like we expected it might, but maybe it still will, or maybe it'll be, sometime in the next few months. But it's supposed to be retroactive back to January 20th. So we'll see. But yeah, there'll be reduced taxes, no tips, no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, and no taxes on Social Security, plus keeping the old tax cuts from last time. Number 15, the federal government will be back under 20% of GDP. Right now, it's close to 25% of GDP. And the whole goal of DOGE and Secretary Bessent is to get back under 20% and to reduce the deficit from almost 7% down to 3%. I think we will be at or near both of those by this time next year. Number 16, states, regions, and local schools will be operating without federal overlords. Oh, wow, that'll be cool. Yeah, so there'll be no Department of Education. There'll be all kinds of things that right now the government says you have to do this and you have to do that, and then we'll send you the money. But here's a whole list of things that you have to do in order to get that money. And no, that's all good. They'll just send you a check. They'll send the state a check. They'll send the local government a check, and then they'll go ahead and do those things. Maybe the next step of reducing federal government will be, why do we process the money through Washington? Just stop that money going to the state. Let the state raise it themselves. All right. And number 17, university admissions will be based on merit. Yeah, it's already happening, and will continue to happen. It's not even a question. This will happen. So let me know about those 17. What do you think? Are there more things I should add to the list? Fun things that we're going to see this time next year that we're not seeing now, that we haven't seen for 20 years or 30 years in some cases, or 40 years, a completely different America, the golden days of prosperity, et cetera, that Trump is promising. Or maybe you don't think some of those things are true. They won't happen. Let me know. I'd be very interested to hear your opinion. Later tonight, of course, it'll be Larry Goldberg and we'll be going over what happened with Cathie Wood. What did Cathie Wood have to say yesterday, or actually this morning early in her report? Always a big something. Everybody, we always get big numbers for that one because it's a pretty cool report. And Larry and I actually we kind of slapped hands at the end of the at the end of the effort this morning that we thought we did a pretty good job. Now he continues to say you should watch Kathy, her original report too. But I think we covered what she did very well, and we added our own thoughts, our own comments, and maybe some of them are wise and maybe not. All right. So I want to thank you guys for watching, for being a great audience, for being there every day. It is a thrill a minute to be able to do this, and I can't do it without you. If you want to, go to the next step and do something very kind, you could just hit the like button. Yeah, that'd be very kind. And then if you're still here, you could hit the notify button, or you could join as a subscribe. What do you call it? Yeah, I know what you call it, but I forgot. Anyway, subscribe, right? And or Patreon. So those things are the things that would really help. And with all that said, I think I will. Oh, I'm going to throw up. What am I going to put up there? Do you know that Phil Beisel is going to be here tomorrow morning? Yeah, I got an interview with him tomorrow morning. Last night it was Brian, and this morning was Brian Wang. I'll put up maybe both of those videos because they were both outstanding. Brian Wang, bright guy, right? Huh? Tell me. Okay. All right, that's it. I'm going to say goodbye now. It's been great talking to you. I can never find this.